Grace O'Neillhan,
and Mindy do not. It's Grace and Mindy at the movies in the theater. Never seen them before. They're there. Grace and Mindy have seen them, and we gave them a score. That's fair. But sometimes your needs are rendered beyond repair. Getting older can be tragic. That's when you need movie magic. Watching every single movie in a bin. Hollywood news and gossip. And a fat producer, Robert, who has a triple-double chin.
Grace O'Neillhan,
And Mindy do not. It's Grace and Mindy's movie show. Well, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Would it have cinema audiences saying bravo or Zulu? Hello and welcome to Grace and Mindy at the Movies. I'm your host, Mindy Dunad, joined as always by my sidekick. She's the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson, the Merlin to my Arthur, the Wilt Chamberlain to my Tombstone because he's dead. After all these years, I finally got him. Big win for Mindy. Yahoo! But I digress. I'm talking, of course, of my dear friend, Gracie O'Neillhan. Gracie, how are you
You
this
know,
week?
I was a little bummed until I remembered that he's dead. It brought me so much joy.
So long, sucker. Get him out of here.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. You can take those...
What a showboat. Wasn't it just a...
Such a shut. It made so much sense he played in Hollywood.
That's right.
You can take your 100 points of the game and shove it in
countless
your,
sex
in your jockstrap.
How you doing, folks? Welcome to the show.
We're up and at it.
We're a little saucy today,
To
aren't we?
a saucy style,
I'd
yeah.
say so. It's because, well, we had an Italian chef come in the other day. He just
that's
how to
right.
make spaghetti. And boy, was he handsome, wasn't he? I've never seen an Italian that I liked, but this one I liked.
Amore was in the air.
And so was a lot of cologne.
That's
Or
true.
Too much cologne, I would say.
A lot of herbs, spices, and Fiji from Old Spice.
That's right. And it kind of got into the sauce a little bit. And I don't know, maybe there's some alcohol in the perfume, but I feel good. I feel loose. I feel saucy, as I said before. I don't know if there's other food, any other adjectives that you can describe a food and a person.
Well, when it comes to our producer, Robert, lumpy.
That's right.
There's one.
It's like a bag of grapes.
A big bag of grapes that goes untouched because he eats no fruit.
And it doesn't turn to wine, nothing good like it.
Yeah.
It just spoils and rots in the sun.
No fruits, no vegetables. You shall not pass, he screams. Big fat lug.
How are you? How are you doing?
You know, it was a good week, but a little bit exhausting. As you well know, about once every decade, I pick up a very bad habit.
That's right.
And become very addicted.
I like clockwork.
Like
I
clockwork.
set my watch to your bad habits.
And you can't tap it on the head and keep it off in 9 minutes.
no
It
snooze,
just keeps,
that's right.
there's no snoozing. It keeps coming. 1980s, you know, I got very addicted to Dunkin' Donuts advertisements
That's right.
on television.
Her whole room, the whole wall, covered with Dunkin' Donuts advertisements. And coupons. Perfectly good coupons we could have used.
I couldn't bring myself to get rid of them.
I know, but a free dozen, come on. I'm not hungry.
The way I saw it is, you know how like sometimes a major celebrity will write themselves a check
Sure.
for $1 million, then put it on their wall
That's right.
and keep staring until it comes true. I needed to have
That was Robert Duvall who did that.
Robert Duvall, among others. Jim Carrey.
The most famous is
Jim
Robert
Carrey,
Jim
Corey
Carrey,
Haim.
sure.
I needed those pictures of Fred the mustachioed donut man.
That's
Speaking of another Italian who could cook, and
That's
I
right.
trusted him for it.
And quite an ass on that one.
And quite an
Pardon
ass.
my-
Unfortunately, the coupons did not convey that.
No, that's right.
They just focused on his face, which is just as lovely.
And the time.
But anyway, so 1980s,
Yes,
Dunkin' Donuts
I remember.
ads. 1990s, you remember, I got
Yo-yos.
yo-yos and I got hooked on phonics. The English language just...
You had to go to rehab for that, didn't you?
I had to go to rehab.
You were so hooked.
I was so hooked on phonics.
You were mainlining phonics like nobody's business.
You know what? Best decade of my life.
That's right. Great vocabulary. I remember the end of that spelling bee. You came in 6th.
I came out of that decade like a French masseuse. I was just all over the language.
That's right.
The 2000s.
Oh my.
That was interesting.
Jeez.
I got very addicted to crack.
That's right.
Excuse me. Cracking my windows,
That's right.
slightly ajar.
It was so... I remember that 2000. So I barely remember. My brain was frozen the whole time. It was so cold in that car. And I said, put up the damn windows.
I
And you
couldn't
said,
help myself.
It's 2002. We got 8 more years to go.
I mean, I don't have an ego.
That's right.
Or much of an id, for that matter. But I need my windows just a little.
But only for that decade.
Just for that decade. I got over it eventually. Summer breezes, cool breezes started to interest me less, I suppose.
That's right.
But then...
That's perfect with global warming.
That's right. I guess there's got to be something to
That's
it.
right.
But then in the 2010s,
Oh, jeez.
after 5 years of great behavior, say hello to addiction number 4. Pistachios.
Jeez.
Once you crack, the fun won't return back.
That's right.
With
The
pistachios.
fun won't return back.
It never did.
There's shells all over the floor.
I know.
Nothing but shells.
I've been trying to think of a system because they just come so hot and heavy, and they get so addicted.
You eat
and
them like a
salty.
Tommy gun.
I eat them like Robert eats cheeseburgers. I just
Disgustingly.
just quickly with not much tact or preference
Or regard for your body.
or regard for society or my body. But my goodness, pistachios.
Yeah.
I was cracking them open all weekend, and after 30 straight hours, my thumb and index finger are beyond repair. There's just such a huge indent.
That's right. Now I thought I was safe. It's been 5 years. It's not a peep out of you. You finally stopped chewing gum, which was just driving me nuts, and now you replace it with pistachios.
I was the worst. I know I apologized at the GA meeting, the Gum Chewers Anonymous
You're
meeting.
supposed to be anonymous now. Cat's out of the bag.
I gave you a very sincere apology at that
Yes, I
meeting,
remember.
but you know what? Once isn't enough. It was.
I agree.
My gum chewing was annoying beyond repair.
You know, in some countries they'd arrest you for that.
That's true.
The way you're chewing that gum.
Speaking of countries with very low tolerance
Hello.
levels, oh!
I alley-ooped that one.
you,
Just like Wilt Chamberlain.
you tossed it up like a little Laker,
That's-
and I was like Wilt Chamberlain, dunking it through, and then breaking a woman's heart.
That's right.
But anyway, we both saw Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
That's right, we did.
The new Tina Fey movie. I love her so much.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Such a sweetheart.
Just such a Greek gem.
A Greek gem. There aren't many of those.
No.
But she sure is one. She's in the
It's
select
her
club.
and Dean Martin, I think.
Her, Dean Martin, and Oedipus Rex. So Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Kim Baker, Tina Fey, is a down-on-her-luck New York journalist who's in a midlife rut. Her desk job is a bore, her boyfriend always freezes on the other end of FaceTime chats, and her Tupperware is constantly filled with bland tuna salad. Bland tuna salad, that is, until Kim volunteers to become a news correspondent in Afghanistan. There she befriends Tanya Vanderpool, Margaret Bob, a down-on-her-luck, gorgeous British reporter, General Hallerneck, Billy Robbie Thornton, a down-on-his-luck Marine, and Afghani bureaucrat Ali Masood.
Oh, jeez.
Grace, I'm just gonna jump ship on this
That's
one.
fine.
But it was,
No, it's
remember how Alfred Molina had the beard? And we were just like, where is he from? He's not saying.
right.
He's not
They
saying.
never said.
They never said. He never said. We never said. Never made it clear. But that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, clear.
So a down on his luck, Afghani bureaucrat, and Ian McKelpie, Marvin Freeman, a down on his luck Scottish photographer. Will covering the ongoing crisis in the Middle East help Kim snap out of the ongoing crisis in her middle life?
Wow.
Or will Whiskey Tango Foxtrot? Now it's time for one of our favorite games on the
here
show.
we go.
We love it so much. It's called Did You Like It or Didn't You? And so I'll start with you, Gracie. Tell me about Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Did you like it or didn't you?
You know, I liked it. I will say that. It was funny. It was sad. It was sometimes inappropriately both at the same time. I don't like war. I'm a peace person. I love make love, not peace. What is it?
I think it's make love,
Not pizza.
Not pizza. Yeah.
That's me.
Because when you just keep making pizza, you lose sight of the focus.
That's right. All you're doing is pounding the dough for hours, and your family's right there in the next room. You're not paying attention.
Yeah, you're pounding the dough, and meanwhile, it's your family that's taking the real beating. Robert, pay heed.
That's right. And by the way, don't expect Robert to make you good pizza.
Or a family. At any point in his life.
Did you like it or didn't you?
I saw this movie a little bit like I see my bosoms. Pretty uneven, I have to say. These are the directors who did Crazy Stupid Love.
That's right.
Which I loved. And Bad Santa, which I adored.
Better.
Even better, yeah. So these guys certainly have talent. And they're trying to do a very tough thing. They're trying to, what pretty much only MASH has managed to do and has never been done on the big screen.
That's right.
Is make war a comedy. But I felt like I loved the effort, but I just, the transitions between the drama and the comedy just didn't feel smooth enough to me.
Yeah,
I have to say.
They were like Robert's back when he tries to shave one-handed. He's got the razor, he's reaching back there, just clawing at his back, and you feel that stubble. It's just like...
I've seen him do... There's one time I knocked on his door because I needed him to fix something, which I knew wasn't going to happen,
right.
But we thought we'd keep up appearances anyway. And he was in his bathroom, and then at first I was about to say, oh, sorry, but then I lingered, and I watched for a little bit, and you're right, when he tries to shave his back, he really goes for it. It's
He really does. So he gets most of his shoulders and his upper back, and the lower back is just
beyond. Yeah,
beyond repair.
Talk about the lion, the witch, and the wardrobe.
That's right. We need Ernesto, the gardener outside.
The gardener
to take a whack at that.
To grab your shears and just.
Do not put my shears against that.
Actually,
woolly beast.
You know what? I'll save your shears. It needs a lawnmower.
That's right. Ernesto, hello.
Ernesto, we got a gig for you.
So war, hilarious or not? You be the judge.
I'll tell you what bothered me a little bit though. There's such an uproar with movies these days where they get actors of different races to play a certain race.
Right.
And with this one, look, you had Margot Robbie, who, by the way, I'm a staunch heterosexual, but...
Hello, doctor.
Hubber. She is something...
She's got the business.
She's got, yeah. The business cards are ready for grabbing.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the press. But, I mean, she's an Australian.
Sure.
And she's playing a British woman.
Yeah.
And then you have Marvin Freeman, who actually is British.
Right.
And he's playing a Scottish
Just
guy.
switch the parts.
Yeah. And then there's an American... Yeah. And then there's an American guy who's, like, at first an Australian guy, but then he was a Canadian guy the whole time. And I was like, Mr. Gorbachev.
Oh, jeez.
Tear down the wall. I'm livid.
It was offensive.
It was so offensive.
To think that a Canadian could protect an American is one of the most
in
offensive things.
In any circumstance.
In any circumstances. It was one of the most offensive things I've seen. More offensive than the war stuff.
Yeah.
And we love all our Canadian fans out there. It's no knock against you.
We have a big... Well, let's be honest. We're knocking them a little bit. But we mean it sincerely. And I think that...
That's what matters.
And that's what matters the most.
Long story short, who you kidding yourself, Canada?
Yeah.
Who you kidding yourself?
Who are you kidding yourself? Grow up. It's time to
Be
show...
like your big brother, America.
Time to get back to basics.
That's right.
And
Start a war somewhere.
Yeah. Ruffle some feathers. Scrape some knees.
What's Turkey doing? Anyone keep track of Turkey? Go over there.
They've just dropped out of the world.
Yeah,
cold turkey. Just out of nowhere.
Turkey's gone cold turkey, hasn't they?
Hasn't
they?
They sure has.
I'm telling you, that sauce is getting to my head.
But you're so right. They have no identity.
We can go all day about Canada's shortcomings.
You know what I did like? I did like Alfred Molina playing an Afghani guy.
That's right.
I thought that was nice. And then Christopher Abbott played Tina Fey's friend.
Right.
And I think, when there's a brown character, you need it to be portrayed by an Anglo-Saxon.
I agree.
Because otherwise it's a little too intimidating. and people get distracted.
It's affirmative action, is what it is.
Yeah, you need it.
You need it.
That's why Aladdin was such a successful cartoon. They had a white cartoon,
But not too dark. The kids weren't too dark, you know. They were.
Yeah, the kids
they were right color.
Yeah, they had a white cartoon play Aladdin.
Right.
They had just a beautiful tan cartoon play Jasmine, and then they saved the brown people for the bad guys.
That's right.
And that's how. And
That's the way it's done.
yeah. And then you get the message. You're
Old
like,
Hollywood. Yeah, it's good they didn't try to get someone of Afghani descent. It just confused him.
wouldn't have fit.
Wouldn't have fit.
Would have been too confused.
Their credits would have been too long. It would have been Ali Mazabadua. Yeah, Chris Abbott. Nice short name.
Nice, yeah.
Fits in the credits. Right in the marquee.
Nice and succinct. Meanwhile, most of these villains in it, you know, it would start on one
jeez.
side of the screen and then wrap around. Let's talk about Tina Fey a little bit. Is this a step forward for her or a step backwards?
It seems like Tina Fey's trying to be more serious. She got rid of the scar, I noticed. Good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss something? When did that happen?
I think
L'Oreal money, huh?
if I'm not mistaken, I think she did it in 2012 when she signed that contract with American Express, and they said, "We love you, but we need
Read the fine print.
But read the fine print."
Maybe she didn't even know. She signed up. She sure, I'll do you a commercial. And then they say, all right, just go to this address. She walks in. Someone straps her to a table, removes a scar. She's like, what's going on here?
Didn't even see it coming.
Didn't even see it coming.
Maybe it saved her life. Maybe she didn't know it was there. And
That's right. Has anyone told her?
I don't think
She
anyone told
never
her.
addressed it.
No one ever said anything.
That's right.
It reminds me of my stand-up act back in.
Oh, jeez.
I get up in front. There's one time I got up in front of the crowd and I was just like, "Don't you just hate it when your groin really hurts? Something awful after you use a dustbin."
She killed at the last year's talent show.
And
Killed you.
yeah, but then I said that night, and someone in the crowd was like, "No, I don't just hate that. I don't know what you're talking
Right,
about. I
yeah.
think you need to get that checked."
There were a lot of murmurs during your set.
A lot of murmurs, and so I was like, "I better get this checked out." And then what? And then what do you
She
know?
was going to be the next Sam Kinison.
I was gonna be the next Sam Kinison, but I had scarlet fever.
That's right.
But I caught it because of that night.
That's right.
I
You
wouldn't.
caught scarlet fever in the acting bug. You were very sick.
Yeah, a lot at once.
It was going around.
But Tina Fey, for me, she's when it comes to when it comes to TV, there's no one better.
That's right.
She's all over. When it comes to movies, I feel like she's a great player on a bad team. Every movie she's in, she's always the best thing about it, you know. And I felt
Yeah.
the same way about this one.
She, yeah. You know, I think that scar was helping her out. Ever since she got rid of that scar, you don't hear from Tina Fey. It's just
Yeah, her acting chops were
just not to snuff.
I like the character though.
Yeah, sure.
Kim Baker, feisty one, a little scurrilous.
Now the real person's name, I looked it up, is Kim Barker. Boy, what a stretch.
Yeah, Kim Barker was just like, "I'll let you do the movie, but I need to remain anonymous."
That's right. Remove her scar, remove my R. That's in the contract.
An eye for an eye. So yeah, this Kim Baker character, you know, breaking out of a midlife crisis. Have you ever had a you ever experienced a midlife crisis, Gracie?
I've had a few. I thought I was gonna die a few times, and then halfway
Oh, no.
through, I realized I'm still good.
What did you do to boost your morale?
Let's see. Well, you know, I went through my phases. In the 80s, I was always a decade behind. In the 80s, I got into disco and cocaine. Mm-hmm. In the 90s, I got into hairspray and exercise.
And Hairspray was a popular musical in the 80s, so you were a decade behind.
I was a little bit behind. In the 2000s, I was getting really into grunge. Remember my grunge phase?
Your grunge phase, yeah.
I got a motorcycle. I got another leather jacket just for good measure. Every year, every decade, I celebrate every decade with a leather jacket.
And you always kind of bobbing your head to the disco beat.
That's right.
Even in your sleep, but that was sciatica, we found out.
That's
but when you were awake, you were still doing it.
Well, that was the ambient.
All right. That's fair.
So I'd say, but again, there was that time where I was skydiving every day.
Yeah.
For a whole month. 30 days of skydiving. Ran through my bank account like nobody's business.
But you come to realize that no matter how far you fall out of a plane, you can't fall from yourself.
That's right. and I lost a lot of change.
Did you?
I didn't Velcro my pockets.
Did you try to do laundry up in the helicopter?
Well, I was gonna do laundry after. I figured I'd soil myself. I might as well bring some change with me. I don't know what happened.
You never know. You
never-
know if they're gonna have a laundry machine or a Pac-Man.
That's right.
You always want to be prepared.
I always carry $30 in change everywhere I go. That's just my rule.
Yeah, that's a great rule to live by. Do you remember my midlife crisis?
How could I forget?
Yeah,
Enlighten me.
it was when I was about 40.
Yep.
And my father just died, and his favorite Disney movie was Lady and the Tramp.
And by the way, everyone, ask your dads what are their favorite Disney movies.
Make sure you know.
Make sure you know.
Before they die.
It could be a secret password. Trying to get a password of one of their questions. What's your favorite movie?
Could be a security question.
Security question. That's the word.
It could even be that someone comes up to you at the wake and says, "Well, I'm so sorry for your loss. What was his favorite Disney movie?"
I'm reaching in the vault. What is he like?
And you have to say, "I don't know. We never had that
That'd just
conversation."
be embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing and tragic at the same time.
Oh my God.
But I knew about my father.
That's right.
That his favorite was Lady and the Tramp. So I got a tattoo of the Tramp on my lower back.
That's right.
Where I did that in honor of my father being shot in the lower back during the war.
That's right.
So it was a tribute.
That's right.
So I had a Tramp on my lower back, and all the fellas at the soda parlor, they were like, "Oh, it's the Tramp stamp," which I thought was a funny rhyme,
Right. Yeah,
like,
that's cute.
like Scaffer and I, like Tramp stamp.
All those classics.
Oh,
Gee, great. This is embarrassing, but Mindy, I got a tattoo myself in that same region. Well, this was in the 2000s, 2005. I was so happy, you were doing your thing, I was doing my thing. We had that brief falling out.
That's right.
And I went to Universal Studios a lot to think. I'd go... I spent a summer in Hollywood. And I rode the tram over and over. And I loved the tram so much that I got that tram tattooed
It's
on my lower back.
Wonderful machine.
Isn't it great? And not the part where Jaws comes out of me on the bridge. Just the part where you're waiting before you get on.
Yeah, the waiting area.
No.
That's where the real juice is poured. That's where you really get to know
That's where you see people sweat.
Yeah, that's when you get to know the world and yourself. And I think you got to know yourself.
I
in it.
sure did.
That's a really good. So you got a tram stamp.
I got a tram stamp.
Which is a great. What does it look like now?
It looks like a melted candle.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
Yeah.
My tramp, is a nice svelte dog, Anglo-Saxon svelte
sure,
dog.
yes. With the cross.
Now that dog, I hate to admit, looks a little more like Robert.
That's
It's
right.
been very stretched out.
You got Robert right above your ass.
I got Robert above my head, which is a metaphor for how he's always.
That's right.
I always have to get on his ass for
That's right.
fixing things in my
Well,
room.
he's up his own, so
He's up his own. He's busy up there in that hollow cave, hollow jiggly cave thing.
God, I just ate. Please,
I'm sorry.
please.
I'm sorry.
My goodness.
The pasta. We're gonna.
The pasta's gonna.
We're gonna lose it.
It's gonna be an encore.
And also in this movie, there's a romance.
That's right.
She has one with Josh Charles. That charming
The
guy.
scum.
The scum in the movie, but charming in The Good Wife.
That's
in
right.
Dead Poets Society.
That counts for something.
And then she strikes it up with the Scottish journalist.
Right.
Gracie, do you have any wartime romances?
Well, I've lived through several wars. Desert Storm, Grenada. I did have a romance with I had a pen pal. Let's just put it that way. Back in 2001.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Back in 2001, as we all remember, tragedy struck the United States.
Yes.
I needn't remind you. Go to your local library and look it up. I decided, you know what? Before we start bombing the crap out of Iraq and all that, I'm gonna make a friend over there. Because it might not be there for much longer, with the way Bush was talking.
Oh, that's what you were talking. I thought you were talking about the Red Sox not making the playoffs.
Oh no,
Even
no.
though SI predicted them to.
That's right. Which was a war in and of itself.
Yeah,
war times.
that was tragic.
Yeah, we had to ration.
But okay, 9/11.
So I wrote a letter. Postmark 9/11. I wrote a letter. I said, care of Guy in Iraq. I didn't care who I got. I got a little 19-year-old boy, Ali Akbar was his name. We wrote back and forth. Wouldn't you know, we had a lot in common. He liked baseball cards. I liked reading about people sorting through baseball cards. You know, it's one of my favorite things.
Oh, yes.
It got too much for us. We decided we should meet one of these days.
What, the baseball cards were too dense?
The baseball cards were stacking up against us.
I see.
You see. So we decided to meet up halfway. Turns out it's in international waters. I didn't know that.
Okay. So you're sitting there on a raft.
I took a carnival cruise about halfway. I jumped off, got on a raft.
Big win for Gracie.
Big win for Gracie. I got a discount that way. We met in the raft. It was love at first sight. His beard was as long as my explanation of this story. His eyes... his eyes were golden blue. We kissed under the moonlight.
What were you doing during the day?
Well, it was a little too hot. I was a little delirious. I was honestly floating out there for God knows how long.
That's true.
It might have not even been him. It might have been a seagull or something. But
Plus, there was catching up to do.
We said our goodbyes, and I never heard from him again. Turns out he lives in New Jersey. And he owns a radio shack over there.
So you were, as my sweet grandson Jeffrey would describe it, catfished? Is that what happened?
I was, and we ate catfish, ironically. We caught a catfish. I don't know how there was a catfish in that sea. You know, that was around the time I was taking a lot of Ambien in my... and, you know, my night terrors were taking hold.
Always 10 years behind. You were...
I was always 10 years... It might have been 2011.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Ambien was huge in the 90s. There you are at the turn of the century.
Well, I never experimented with drugs, so there we go.
I had a wartime romance back in the 50s.
Is that right? Oh, yeah. Wow.
It was a very small war. It was called the Peccadillo War.
Oh, jeez.
Where America and Turkey actually were
Is that right?
getting on each other.
Back when they were on the map.
Back when they were on the map, when they had an identity, when they were saying where they were from. Back then. And they were just calling, you know, like there was exchanges like, look, we think you're a great country, but you have a couple flaws. Right. And if we're being a good friend, we just want to point them out to you until you fix it.
That's right.
And so my beloved, his name was Francis Flannery. He went off to war. And I wrote him a letter. And I said, Dear Francis, I miss your sweet love so tremendously. I sit by my window every night and pine until you return. Forever yours, Mindy. And then he sent me a letter back. And it said, I know why you're sitting by your window. Because Gerald Grisette lives across the street from you. And you're looking out your window at him.
Long distance relationships never work.
They never work.
They never work.
And that's what I think kids don't understand these days, is that one word, one comma, could just get misunderstood and misconstrued.
That's right. That's how the Challenger exploded.
Yeah. And
one comma.
One comma was off. And kids don't have to deal with that.
I'm sorry this show is such a bummer. We've been talking about war, 9/11, Challenger explosion. Jeez,
I know.
Jeez,
That's
what this movie does to you.
When did Vivian Struhl get here?
Right.
It's a real bummer.
Oh, there she is. Boy, you just mention a name and she says a little catchphrase. And then
But
there she goes in the segue.
Yeah. Hey, Vivian. Yeah, let's. You're right. This has become a huge bummer. So let's
cheer it up.
Let's cheer it up a little bit. We've got a brand new section.
Let's have some fun.
It's called To Jeffrey with Love.
Oh, Jeffrey. We haven't talked about Jeffrey in so long.
We haven't talked about him in so long.
He's at war.
He's sort of. He's at Wisconsin, which can be a battleground sometimes.
So I've heard.
So they get very protective about their cheeses.
That's right.
And you
best cheeses in the biz.
Best in the biz, and you got to pick one side or another.
That's right. Are you a cheddar man or are you an American man?
It depends on the sandwich, and that's why I wouldn't last in Wisconsin because you have to pick one side or another. Usually.
Do not stand in a deli in Wisconsin and guffaw. What's the word I'm looking for?
Waffle. Don't waffle back and forth.
Don't waffle. Don't furrow your brow. Just pick a cheese when you're in line and get the hell out of the way because they don't take those things lightly.
Or do what Robert does and say, I'll take all of them.
That's right. His cheese sandwiches are so disgusting.
Oh, it's just filled with cheese.
Just cheese and lettuce.
Just an explosion. Like a bomb in Afghanistan. Oh, what, we said we're not going to
No
do
more
that.
bombers.
We're not going to do that
Keep it
anymore. But so yeah, let's keep it light. My grandson Jeffrey, I've been waiting for him forever to call. He never calls back, so here's what I did. I did surveillance on his cell phone.
Sneaky.
And I tapped into it to find out what acronyms come up most often in his textual messages.
Now, you can't even get the microwave to reheat your lasagna. How did you manage to do this?
Let's just say I know some people in the front office. But I tapped it, and I
Was
want...
that Maria's kid? Maria, she brings in a kid, a little 15-year-old son. Little pissant, isn't he?
You would think.
Well,
But consider me winking at you.
She's winking constantly, folks.
But anyway, so we wanted to do that because Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, it is it's supposed to be an acronym for WTF, which did you ever figure out what that stands for?
It's how you order breakfast: waffle, toast, and fries.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so just give me a WTF. Hold the bacon.
And that makes a lot of sense because, you know, in that movie, she was always looking for a good place to eat.
That's right.
She just couldn't find satisfactory food.
It was nothing but bread and sand.
Bread, sand, and naan.
That's
The screen is just filled with naan. Just give me a classic waffle,
Classic
toast, classic fries. So I found out the most common phrases on Jeffrey's phone,
Okay.
Acronyms, and our producer Robert wrote them down. And so I figured we'll play a game.
Have fun.
And so I'll say an acronym from Jeffrey's phone,
All right.
military style, and then you say what you think it stands for.
All right.
And we'll take turns. So the first one is Romeo, Oscar, Tango, Foxtrot, Lemur.
Real omelets, toast, fries, and lemonade.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. Jeffrey, I asked him about this once. I thought he pocket dialed
I just assumed he eats a lot of breakfast.
me. I don't think college kids eat breakfast anymore.
I guess not.
But he said it stands for rolling on the floor laughing.
Ah, who does that? is
That's
it
what I
So
wonder.
if you're laughing, but there's a fire,
Where
that what it is?
you're on fire and you tuck and roll.
and you hit it like you hit a banana peel and you start laughing.
It just strikes you so in such a way. But rolling on the floor, it's no laughing matter.
I would not know. God.
Usually, it's rolling on the floor because I've fallen and I can't get
That's
up.
right.
It's no laughing
We lost
matter.
a good friend rolling on the floor laughing.
That's true. Poor June.
Oh, June, my God.
Ah, June.
God, June too soon.
June, yeah.
Hashtag.
Hash brown.
Hash brown.
June too soon.
All right, let me flip the script here on you. Oscar, Mike, golf.
Oreos, milk, good.
Ding, ding, ding. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's what we're supposed to say.
If it's not, it should be.
Because I don't know the answer. Well, actually, here it is. Oh my God. Well, that doesn't count because O is you can't say O stands for O.
Yeah,
Why don't you just spell the letter out?
that's
That's just
one of
silly.
the
These
laziness
kids.
of that is
Oh, my God.
beyond reaching.
All right, let's keep going.
All
Flip
right.
it.
November, India, Mike, Bravo, Yankee.
Nice igloo, Mr. Velvety. Yahoo!
I'm surprised you didn't know this one.
I really don't.
It's one of my favorites. It's not in my backyard.
Ah,
So
I
like,
should know that.
So like when Robert comes in and he's like, well, I didn't fix the furnace, but I think I'm just going to grab a glass of lemonade before I leave. I go, NIMBY!
That's what you've been saying?
That's what I've been saying. Hashtag NIMBY!
I thought there was a woman
Not
who-
in my
A
backyard.
woman who moved in here that I hadn't met yet. Nimby. All right, here we go. I got one for you here. This one's a stumper. Lima. Oscar. Lima.
Laughing over lesbian.
What was the first word? Laughing?
Laughing.
What the hell is that?
Laughing. Ha ha ha, laughing.
Oh, why you got an accent on that one?
I
Laughing?
spent some time in Rhode Island when I was a kid.
And you just picked the word laughing, and then you can't.
It's like the one thing where it comes
I
up.
would have thought it stood for little old ladies.
Ah,
But instead, this is another laughing
Grace and Mindy, LOL.
word. Hashtag Hash Brown LOL. Laughing out loud.
Ah,
Kids,
okay.
just laugh, you guys. You don't have to announce that you're laughing. People will be clear.
Just go for it.
Just go
yeah.
for it. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid. Just be yourself. And I'm willing. And you know what? As long as I'm not rolling on the floor,
That's right.
I'm happy to go along with this. Just
I'm perfectly happy LOLing in my chair.
yeah, that's the best place for laughing out loud.
And especially if I'm watching a good comedy.
Oh yes. One more for
Yeah,
all
that's old times.
for all the beans.
Give me a big one.
All right, here we go. This is for all the beans. Bravo, India, November, Golf, Oscar.
All right. Boy, I need great ovaries.
You and me both, pal.
Now can I guess?
But yes.
No, I'm kidding.
I want to help you
Okay.
because
go
I want a big win for Gracie today.
ahead. All right.
There was a farmer had a dog,
Okay.
and his name was Bravo, India, November, Golf, Oscar.
His dog was named Billy. It's not good over there.
That would be such an exhausting dog to raise. I'd reach a point where I'd stop disciplining it.
Yeah, I'd probably shorten that one.
Well,
That's
yeah.
probably good you shorten
But
that
how?
one. But how?
There's the rub.
That I shall ponder.
It's a great name for a dog. It needs to be shorter. I guess that means we end in a draw. We get to split the beans.
All right. If you're keeping track at score, it's 1-1.
It's 1-1. Beans split. Take care.